Of course, after I got Sentinel Prime, I found Megatron. So this may be the only proper transforming Megatron from Transformers 1 on the market. Like a YOLO Park with the non-transforming kits and other action figures of like D16. I think the only ones made by Hasbro are like one-step gimmick changers. It may be the best Megatron toy out there. I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but it's really good. Now, let's get the first size comparison out of the way. Here he is with Sentinel Prime. Can't have them too close to each other, otherwise they'll just start fighting. And I really liked Megatron slash D16 in Transformers 1. And part of that is down to Brian Tyree Henry, the guy who voiced Megatron. He did a really good job of like showing the different stages, like D16 evolving into Megatron. Because you don't expect it, even though you know kind of what you're expecting, but like the different levels between his like young D16 and the Megatron at the final battle when he's giving that impassioned speech, it's like holy crap, that night and day basically. And this toy, spoiler alert, comes from the final battle. So after Megatron kills Sentinel, he takes the cog Sentinel had, which was originally Megatronus's, because Sentinel was a bastard who took Megatronus's cog. He takes it for himself, and then announces that he is Megatron, and the age of primes is over, and all that. I'd forgotten that the Decepticon insignia, or it wasn't Megatronus' symbol, was burned into his chest, and then it was actually gone when he upgraded to this form, only for him to permanently mark it on himself in purple afterwards in the post-credits. So let's take a look at him. I know the helmet is accurate, but I don't like this version of it. I think the side pieces close in on his face too much. So, if you look at Siege here, I think this thing 100% outdoes Siege at a smaller price, at a smaller scale. Like, they took everything from this thing, smoothed it out, refined it, and put it out as a better toy. And the eyes, well, they're not like exactly that. They're close. It is hard to recreate those kind of eyes with just paint. But they did a good enough job. I did really like that moment. I'm done saving you. And lets Orion Pax go. He got his own personal Anakin moment. And I had a whole bit dedicated to the color. Because when I picked him up, I swore he was a different shade of gray, like almost kind of beige. Like, it looked really bad. I actually was contemplating not buying him while I was walking through the store. And by the time I got home, it feels like it turned into this more standard Megatron gray. Although I still wish it was metallic like this. I wish more Megatrons or any Megatron's actually got that slightly metallic silver finish. But the design is also really good. It's incredibly clean. You can barely tell it would turn into a tank if not for the tiny bit of tread sculpting on his forearms. And like, it's a really tight kind of evergreen Megatron design. It still takes everything, like the reds, the blacks, his sort of Darth Vader-esque chest panel, and kind of refines it a little bit. Like, instead of the classic sort of black underpants, he has this really nice cinched waist. Like, he has been working out. I swear I saw a clip of Brian Henry, like, reacting to his action figure and be like, look at his abs, and all that kind of thing, which is very amusing. So let's talk articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and it only has that much range of nod, but it does have a full swivel and not very much side to side. The shoulders are on a ball joint, and they work a hell of a lot better than Sentinels. The price you pay for glamour, I guess. Where you can get a full rotation. They actually look like they're in a proper spot the whole time. Like they're even. And they give them a lot more energy than Siege Megatron. Because Siege, he kind of looks tired. Like his shoulders are kind of, like he's kind of slouched, which doesn't help the boring colors. But this guy, he's ready for it. He's young, still relatively young, and full of energy and hate. And I like that his shoulders are almost rectangular, but then just enough curves to give them their own unique shape. And you do not really have much play in the ball joint besides rotation. But he does have a bicep swivel. He has a double jointed elbow. And he has a wrist swivel. Hey Siege, where's your wrist swivel? The waist, as mentioned before, is movable. It's on a mushroom peg. Okay, Sentinel is the guy that needs the mushroom peg waist swivel, not Megatron. But the one odd thing about this figure, TF Wiki says that the ball jointed hips, which have a nice range of motion, can scrape and I guess deform, because they are technically scraping against his abs. But I haven't really seen much deformity other than a little nubby right there. But they go out all the way. And I like the illusion to the black under skeleton right there. It does have, well, no thigh swivel, but he does have a knee swivel. He also has that same joint that Shockwave has. One of my favorite things to do, this is really dumb, is just do derp 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 derp. Because when you have a tyrant who's this evil, you gotta make him make fun of himself. But you do actually have a little bit of play this way in the ball joints and the knee swivel, along with the knee bend, which is locked in place, but gets a very good range. And you have ankle tilt and forward and backwards. And they don't end up sticking off the end of the vehicle mode. Siege. So posability is very good. part of me wishes these panels were the same color as his boots, because they kind of stick out, but I guess for vehicle mode they look better. I don't know, this guy is really fun to play with. Like, he's not missing anything, everything works. He's missing a thigh swivel, I guess, but people say a boot swivel doesn't count. Still, it almost does the same thing. And you can fake a thigh swivel with the ball joint. It's just a really good action figure. Really fun to play with. I like to think that the tank tracks on his wrists give him like special moves, or maybe like enhance his punches. I'm just fanning here, not like Dakota. However, we do have some accessories, and most of them are right here. So we'll take these off, and just to show you this piece, and it plugs into this tiny bit of kibble on his back, and also tabs in. And that is because it's a throwback to D16's origins as a minor. Not an underage person, but like the lowest class of Cybertronians mine Energon. And to do it, they need jetpacks because all their cogs, their transformation cogs, were removed. And I guess part of that is they can't fly. It does feel a bit like a caste system. And I really like that they left that in on the final design as an homage to his upbringing. His upbringing. You can add these two guns to it to sort of complete the look. And you can add this piece, which will become the barrel of his tank mode. And I really think that's a nice sort of a compact package to not lose his accessories. And he does have his iconic fusion cannon. Now, this isn't the fusion cannon this design actually used. Because when he first got his cog, this was his fusion cannon. But when he got the Megatronus cog, it became a triple-barreled fusion cannon. For unexplainable reasons. It just got a different look. And I think I do appreciate more the classic fusion cannon look. And he wields it very well. And because he came out before the packaging refresh of this year, he does have a backdrop featuring Icon. That was, when was it specific? The metropolis of Icon. And I really like that part of the movie, that we get to see like a Cybertron fully populated before a war. Like, rarely do you ever get to see that. Like, most shows, or even movies, don't spend much time on Cybertron. Even the aptly named Transformer Cybertron goes to many different planets. So it's very rare in Transformers media to actually spend a whole movie on Cybertron itself and see just the scale of it. Like, the buildings are huge. You think of how big the Transformers are compared to us. And then, like, skyscrapers compared to them. Like, seeing all those visuals was just like, whoa, this place looks so big. Definitely not I want to make it. That's what she said. But now he can fly. And with a cog, he can transform. So let's remove the gun. We don't have to remove the backpack. We're going to remove this bit, though. And if you want, you can plug either of these guns into his forearm, because he did actually use one of these guns in this design while fighting Sentinel and Optimus. But I prefer to leave it on the backpack. And what we're going to do is stretch out the legs and arms, hinge the leg, and rotate it like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, make sure this is plugged into the back. Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. That plugs in to the, or tabs in there. And then you rotate the wrist, or you rotate the wrist like that first, and then tab it in. And also, this joint on mine is looser than I would have expected. It's not so loose it spins on its own, but it is a little looser. A little loosey-goosey. So then we're going to rotate, or you can just remove it. No. No parts forming. We don't need to parts form. Rotate it. We're going to fold down his chest panel. And the instructions tell you to rotate the head. I see no reason why you can't just fold the head in. It makes his head not visible. It makes his face not visible. And it doesn't impede the transformation, which you can do by folding this all the way up until the backpack flies off. But in my opinion, doesn't get in the way. We're going to leave the backpack on, preferably, and come to these gray sections and fold them up. Fold the feet till they lock in. This little piece of tank track is going to fold out and then rotate around. And then the gray piece will lock into the back of the foot and also tab in to the chest. So you want it like that, right there. And then fold this down. Do the same thing with the other leg. Lock, lock, and bring the arms without rotating that panel. And the arms are going to tab in. Oh, come on, stop it, please. There we go. They're going to tab in right there. And for the final little touch, bring the fusion can in, plug this in front, and you have a tank turret, and you're going to use that to tab in right there. And there you have a Cybertronian tank. This is how you do a tank, Siege. Like, it may not have wheels. That's the only little knock that I would give the Siege version, is it doesn't have wheels. But that was a very easy transformation with no steps that you're going to forget. I sometimes forget how the rotation of the leg works. And there aren't feet just hanging off the back of it. I like that the feet are incorporated into the tank mode. You can barely see them. You wouldn't really know just looking at it that these parts our feet. They just look like part of the mass of the tank. I do question about the super long barrel. Is that really necessary? But hey, it does look kind of skinny. Part of me wants to say, did we even see Megatron transform? But we actually did in the final battle with Optimus. He transformed for that much time, basically. Transformed, shot at him, got his tank turret ripped off, and then transformed back. He did have a bit more time when he was still D16 and he transformed for the first time. We did have a little bit more, but I would have to go back and scrutinize the kinds of differences and nitpick between the D16 tank mode and the final Megatron tank mode. It still does the turret swivel. It goes up and down. And you see, the head isn't in the way. So I don't understand why you would want his face looking up. And this is a very clean tank mode. Sure, the chest panel is right there, but that doesn't bother me. I just really like this. It is an unusual looking tank. It doesn't quite look like an H tank. It's trying not to look like an H tank. It just works. I just think that it works. The only little thing is he didn't get to use a sword. He didn't get Megatron's sword. Sure, he used bits of rubble as melee weapons in the fight against Optimus, but I don't know. Maybe a sword would have topped off this very delicious sundae that doesn't have rat poison in it. Second time in a row I'm making a Lawrence Fishburne reference. I really want that Studio Series Alpha Trion. I don't want to go for the basic one. Let's get some size comparisons. Here's Sentinel. And here's the inferior tank mode. I highly recommend this figure. I'd be so tempted to actually replace Siege Megatron with this guy on my Decepticon shelf. It kind of makes me want an upscaled Voyager with a premium paint job and hopefully the same kind of quality. But it would be a knockoff, so the quality would be questionable. But I do. The only thing I can knock this guy for is the fact that he's a deluxe. And while he is sized appropriately with Sentinel, I just kind of want a bigger Megatron. It's not a knock on him, it's just I like it bigger. But he's so very good. Yeah. If you watch the movie, if you like Megatron, I think this is possibly the best deluxe Megatron you're going to find. I think Brian Tyree Henry made Frank Welker proud with his portrayal of Megatron. And that translates over to the toy as well. So I'm still looking for Bumblebee. He's supposed to be out soon-ish. He keeps being delayed up here. Reasons I don't feel like getting into in a toy review. I'm looking forward to him and Alita and whoever comes out in 2026. I don't know if I want to go back and get Optimus Prime for completionist's sake. I don't know. But this figure... Might give me a case of... Wait. No. It might give me a case of FOMO. Or I've already technically missed out, but I could still probably find him at a convention. So thank you for watching. The Age of Primes is not over, but it is coming. I have Prima. I should have Prima soon. So maybe we'll take a look at Prima. Until then, keep it weird. And crotch. Attack of the Crotch. I've got to get these two away from each other before they start fighting. He just knocked over my Advil. Bastard. Bye. Explosion.